What is up, YouTube world? I'm Ashley D. Before I get started, please go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, feel free to share this brief video as well. Everything I state is allegedly not a guaranteed fact, my own personal opinion as well as my observation. So I am briefly going to give my opinion in regards to the situation that unfolded a couple days ago with Tasha K and Joe Budden, the podcast. It's a whole situation and how it played out. Well, everyone seems to be against Tasha K right now, and I think some things on her part should have been done a little better. I will say this before I start. I do not agree with any type of bullying whatsoever. I agree with people standing up for themselves, defending themselves. And sometimes when people are placed in certain situations and they're in a fight or flight mode, they're going to come out swinging and protect themselves at all costs. So I'm saying that to say, I do not think that it was cool about the accusations that Tasha put out about Cardi B. Now, that has not been proven to be credible. And if that was her business, why did we need to know that? And why did she feel that was necessary? Some things you should not speak on. Just in general, as a human, having empathy, having compassion, having decency. And most importantly, integrity. Sometimes when people are content creators, influencers, or they have podcasts, they tend to forget about the most important thing that you do when you first started off was to send the message, was to support the people, was to be relatable, was to teach. And along the way, these people lost that vision, that passion. They became greedy. They became noticed and known, and they forgot the reason behind the beginning of you doing this, where you first started from, where you came from, the humble beginnings. And some people get too big-headed to where they begin to get cocky, begin to put people down, as well as defame their character. Now, I'm not saying this is Tasha K or anyone else whatsoever, but, well, I'll say anyone whatsoever in general. But there are a lot of people out there that I've seen personally. Myself, that have had people come on their show that have started off with humble beginnings, so nice, so respectful, so considerate. And along the way, when they became big, they became so known and they started blowing up with their million subscribers. They forgot who helped them get there. And most importantly, they forgot to look back. Now, like I said, I don't agree with the accusations that Tasha K said about Cardi B. However, with the Joe Budden and Tasha K situation, I feel completely different than the way everyone else feels. Now, I do think that she shouldn't have been yelling because they're going to immediately go for the angry black woman syndrome. She's upset. She's angry. She's yelling. People express themselves in different ways. She was hurt and she was frustrated. So it's easy for someone to write her off and say that she was this mean, black, angry woman. No, she was coming from a place of hurt. Even though she did what she did, she took the time to come on this show to allow this podcast, this black man, to allow him to get the credit. She spoke. She had other people reaching out to her to get her story out, who fact-checked, who read the evidence. This man had not known anything. Not to mention, he did not like the person that she was fighting with. So, in all fairness, if we're going to be real, you're not going to go on someone's show that don't like you and they're a true fan of someone that has sued you. You're going to side with the person more than likely that, not to mention, is the same race as you, as well as having more in common with them. And we all know that him and Cardi B, on and off of YouTube or whatever, they've never gotten along or seen eye to eye. Now, I will say this about Joe Budden. His character to me on Love and Hip Hop has always been sketchy. He never was one of my favorite people. He never was a true standout I don't want to say celebrity or whatever you want to call it, but TV personality. He seemed to struggle with problems on and off the camera, as well as with commitment. Some of the things he said seems to be kind of crossing over the line to where even his sexuality became questionable, because certain things he said were inappropriate and just out of the ballpark. The things that he said he did to his dog. Now, for the most part, I didn't think that he was one of my favorite people, and I didn't even spend the time to just watch his podcast and get a feel for his personality, because I saw him on a TV show. What I saw was what I got. He played Nateri like the back of his hand, back and forth. And then when she finally had enough, he proposed to her and he expected her to say yes. It was a very romantic, beautiful gesture, but coming from the wrong person that was not ready to commit. The same person that had lipstick on his pillowcase a week ago. But now he wants to marry you. Okay. That was the best decision she ever made in her life at that moment. Now, Joe Budden has always had his attraction for Latino women. Now, we like who we like. It is our own personal preference, our belief to choose who we want to choose as our mate and our spouse. That's fine. He's also had a lot of controversy in regards to him being labeled as a man beater, him being labeled as taking it too far, kicking people down the steps, allegedly, breaking ribs, allegedly, being very abusive verbally and physically, allegedly. And there's a few times that Tasha K has stood up for him. Now, when men like Joe Budden and a lot of other black men that have been either unalived or in a situation with a woman that is not the same race as them, they tend to forget who they are, bash black women, or hate who they are. Now, I'm not saying every man, let me correct myself, or woman that enters in a different race, in a relationship with someone from a different race, has to automatically hate their race. I'm not saying that. I'm just making a statement saying a lot of them, a majority of the time, that's how they feel. And especially when it's brought to the public eye. A young man who hated his race, who would go on rants on Twitter about black women and how he trusted police officers and how the black guys was bad, that's why they were killed. He wound up trying to break a fight up and wind up being unalived by a Caucasian officer. And his family wanted the black community to stand behind 10 toes for him to get justice. When at the end of the day, his tweets came out. And it was clear as day to see that this man hated his color. This man hated everything about himself. If he could jump into a Caucasian man's body, then he would. So the black community shunned him. They didn't have anything for him. And with that being said, in that situation, I could not agree with them more. Now, men like Joe Budden, when they get in these different race relationships and things don't work out, they want to run back to the black community as well as the black women to hype us up, to anger us, to get us enraged. So not only we go after that woman, we attack her, but we protect him. That's just our natural human nature. We're going to protect our race, our people, because we feel like we've been kicked down so much. We've been beat, as well as defamed, as well as hurt, as well as our men being locked up over silly petty crimes when other people in different communities and suburbs are getting away with so many more different things that are way more serious. As well as our black African-American men being targeted because they're driving in a car by a Caucasian cop, being unalived for different reasons that was not cause for. Of a stop simply as a traffic stop, or a light went out, or a let me check your ID for no reason stop. But Joe was always that man when he get upset to run back like a female and get the black woman upset, so she stands up for him and she goes at the other woman. Now, men like Joe, you do not take serious. Joe doesn't take himself serious. Joe's opinion never matters to me. Just personally, his character has always been sketchy. So why would I sit up and watch a podcast with him on there and pretend to like him? Anything that feeds my soul and I invest my energy in. And I'm human, so I have those moments where I'm weak and I want to respond to certain things and my vibration is low, so I'm interacting on things that are lower and beneath me. However, when I get my energy back up and I'm back vibrating where I need to be, then I'm more concerned about what goes inside my mind, my body, and my soul and what resonates with me. I'm going to mainly try to feed off of positivity so it stays inside of me. Now, Tasha K went on the rant. She went off and she was pretty upset. And I understand everything she said and where she came from. Her delivery, unfortunately, is going over everyone's head because she looked as though she was a black angry woman, right? Even though it proved to be she was guilty of the accusations against Cardi B, it was bigger than that. This was between her and Joe. She gave him a great interview. And for him not to play that, she felt violated. Her side of things and how things played out and transpired, she felt like it was necessary to speak her side. Now, whether she was found guilty or not, you guys, I still think everybody deserves a fair chance to clear their name or at least be heard. And then after they're heard with their evidence and facts, then you decide whether or not this person is guilty or not. Do not write them off right away based off of who you like, based off of this person receipts, but you don't check the other person's. No, we saw that Tasha K was guilty in the court. We didn't too much see anything. We all agreed that what she did to Cardi was wrong. However, if she wanted to do this interview and this man was the one reaching out to her, she wanted a fair chance to say how she felt on the camera because we were not allowed in the court. So we did not see what transpired behind the scenes. Now, for him to not put that out, she felt as though she was played and he was an industry puppet. And industry puppets are trained to do what their masters tell them to do. They're not going to release certain things that clear your name or that does not in line with the plan. The plan was not for Tasha K to be cleared. And Tasha K is not a part of his agenda with the industry plan and with everyone else. If she's not a part of that, then of course she doesn't have that fair chance to go on a black podcast and clear her name. No, she is already guilty. She is already rolled off because she's not with those people. She's not with that crowd. She's her own person. And Joe Alliance and Allegiance is with that industry that Tasha K is not part of. And now we have all these black men that are speaking out, calling Tasha K an angry black woman and blah, 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 and plastering her face, her video, her being upset, but no one is listening to the message. No one is agreeing at the fact that Joe Budden had plenty of Latino women claiming that he abused them, from broken ribs to kicking them down the steps and so on. And he's also had his black women go at the Latino women to back him up. And then what did he do? Even on his show, when he started back dating a Latino woman, he dropped the black woman. He broke her heart. And history continues to repeat itself. And now we have Tasha K, who's expressing how she's feeling, having a human moment, human experience, but yet and still she's judged. She's looking like a monster. She's looking like the angry black woman because she's yelling, she's upset, and she's hurt. But we can't allow her to have that human experience because everyone is so brainwashed and demonetized to where that is anger. That is bad to express yourself. You're automatically wrote off as you're crazy. Everyone is human at the end of the day. And I'm quite sure behind closed doors, not on camera, everyone has been upset. Everyone has yelled one way or another when they were accused of something or they were hurt or upset. No, I don't think that the way she tried to get her point across was right. I agree about that. However, it was clear as day that She was upset, and I feel like the facts is the facts. Before anyone try to write her off, at least understand how she feels and where she's coming from. And most importantly, don't just try to rally around Joe Budden, because at the end of the day, he's not with us. If he can have it his way, he'll stay where he is. He doesn't care about our people, but he cares enough to make a profit off of us. He cares enough to have us stand up for him when he's beefing with one of these Latino women to say he's not a woman beater, when in reality, we don't know what went on behind closed doors. But what we do know is several police reports, several pictures, several women, not just one, but several. I am Ashley D. You're entitled to your own opinion. Please leave your opinion down below. Please feel free to. On this channel, everyone's opinion matters, but just be respectful in the comment section. Thank you. Have a great night. Stay blessed.